Hi, and welcome to question 2 of the 2018 Paper 2 Junior Cert Higher Level. So as always, the notes that accompany this video are available at shanetroy@gmail.com. My email address will be in the description below. And as usual, I suggest you pause this and just have a go. And then if you're not successful, just check the answer. You can move on to the next page, which has like the answer built in. So question 2 here has a new action camera is sold in a box that is 5 centimeters high, 14 centimeters wide, and 24 centimeters long. And you're given an image, okay, and you have the different lengths on the diagram. Okay, so part A says work out the volume of this box and in cm cubed. So first I'm going to mention the units. So all the units are the same type. Okay, that's grand. They're all centimeters, so there's no conversions going on here. That's cool. And this is the volume of box. Okay, so the formula here is not given to you in the maths tables, and it's basically the area of a rectangle with the third dimension. Okay, so that's area by a length, which is volume. Okay, now the formula there is basically the area volume formula, the addition. So volume is given by length times width times height. Given all three of those variables, so there's 4 unknowns in the formula. We're given 3 of them all on one side, so this is as easy as it gets. Okay, let's go straight to the answer because it's prettier. So I have the formula written out, and I have identified my variables and wrote them out. Now, a lot of people might argue that's pedantic, but ultimately, I'm trying to make sense of the question. As I'm writing out this, I'm helping my brain to retrieve memories of all the times before I've done stuff in this kind of area. Okay, now excuse the pun, and trying to bring that back to the fore. Now, I don't necessarily need much brain power for this one. Okay, but I'm writing out my 3 sets of units. Okay, now it's just a matter of slotting them in the right place. So 24 instead of length, 14 instead of width, and 5 instead of height. And I've expressed that down here. That's just the scale of substitution. I don't need to do it in brackets because they're all positive, so there's no signs are going to change. Although I would be careful with substitution that if it's a negative number, then you do substitute in brackets so that if it's you won't go wrong. Put that through the calculator, okay, and I end up with a figure of 1680, and that's the units there cubed, okay, and the unit itself was centimeters, so centimeters cubed. Job done. So that's part A, nice 5 marks. Now part B here has a more complicated shape. Okay, if you'll notice, okay, the original shape is there, if you can kind of see it, okay, with the action written there. So we're just talking about some sort of bigger container. So 36 of these action boxes are packed together, and a cover that is 1 centimeter thick. Now they put it in bold for a reason, okay, so that's going to be playing on later on. Is a cover that is 1 centimeter thick is put all around the outside of the 36 boxes as shown below. Now, before we look at anything that's going on here, let's just figure out what the hell is going on. So again, you have your original thing from part A. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, okay? And then you have a stack 4 high. So 4 by 9 is 36. So you got those smaller boxes, okay, inside a larger box. That larger box, the cover itself is about a centimeter thick, okay? So like you got a load of smaller boxes in a bigger box for shipping. Okay. So part B then says work out the outside dimensions of this cover in centimeters. Okay, so just want the height, width, and length of that bigger, like dark, bold box. Now, we know information from the first one, okay? And you can always flick back and go, well, 5, 14, and 24. So, what's the first one there in the list is height, okay? So, if we look at the height here, well, that's 5, okay? There is, I think, 4 of them, okay? And the extra bit on top. So, if I go back to the diagram here, so there's 4 of them. So, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, plus the little bit 1 centimeter here and the 1 centimeter here. Now, how do I express that mathematically? Okay, box height is 5. Okay, there's no, I multiplied it, not add. There's 4 times them. Okay, so 4 5s is 20. Then you have the 1 and the 1 either side, okay, of it. and you got a total there of 22 centimeters. So that height there is 22 centimeters. I'm not going to bother with the units, okay? Now the width's the same basic principle. Okay, now we know the width of the box there was 14. Okay, now careful here, I made a mistake in doing this first. There are 3 of them. Okay, there's 4 up like that, but there's 3 across. What's that? 14 by 3 is 42, plus the 1 centimeter and the 1 centimeter. That's why they put it in bold, because it's vital for the answer. We end up then with the 42 plus 1 plus 1 gives you an answer of 44. So the width here is 44. Now we're onto the right track, I think. So the length here, okay, if you see it, there's 3 boxes. Okay, so the box length, remember from the last part, was 24. There's 3 times that, so 3 24s is 72. So express that there. Plus the 1 and the 1, okay, gives you a length of 74. So we have the dimensions of that new box, and the length we said there was about 74. And that's that. And lovely 10 marks there. It's not complicated. It's not easy, okay, but I find with this kind of question, the biggest problem is people read it. It is confusing, okay, but then read it again, or read it again, or not to belabor the point, read it again. I'll often have to read these questions multiple times. The times I don't, are the times I end up doing what might be a lovely mathematical question, but not what I was asked, or I've missed an important piece of information, okay, like the 1 centimeter thick. Okay, and then my answer, while correct based on what I read, is not reflecting what the question actually asked. Okay, so that's part B. Now part C here says the cover that is put around the 36 boxes is made of plastic. Work out the volume of plastic in this cover. We'll go back to the original thing here, okay? So that outer casing is plastic. The inside, take out all the boxes, is empty, okay? So it's not entirely made of plastic. Okay? Otherwise you just get 22 by 44 by 74. But the inner part is empty. So that's not actually made of plastic. So that's the trick basically here. Okay. So the volume of plastic, you can calculate that by getting the volume of the entire shape, okay, with the plastic. Take away the volume of the boxes, okay, that leaves the plastic. Okay, so now how do we do that? As I said a second ago, the volume of the entire shape is 22 times 44 times 74. Okay. Take away, now, we originally worked out that one box, the action written on it, was 1680 centimeter cubed. There are 36 of them, so it's 36 times that. You end up with 2 figures. Now, you'd expect one to be bigger than the other. So you take them away, you get a positive number. I do the subtraction, and I got, 11,152 centimeters cubed. And that's what the plastic is. Now, on the marking scheme for this, there was loads of different ways of doing this, and I'm sure other people have perfectly valid ways, and they all will get full marks. That to me strikes me as the most kind of logical, in a sense, but that's just me. These kind of questions where you have differences, they're going to come up. It's going to be some different shape, some different scenario. You just have to kind of understand the concept. If you get the concept, you can apply that to loads of other problems. So now, in study time, is the time to focus on getting that concept. If you're not really getting it, maybe take a step back and do some practice, okay, of questions in the book. Or as I've been pushing a lot recently with different grinds and stuff, like make sure that you've read the beginnings of each chapter, even so you start to get to recognize names of sections. Junior Cert Honours level, or like for the future, Leaving Cert Honours level. It's vital what's as you see a sum, what section of the maths course this is. So your brain can focus in on strategies to help solve that particular problem in that particular moment. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. So that's question 2, part C, and that's the end of it. Okay, so best of luck and see you on question 3.